Imagine building a house, painting it blue, and then having your neighbors bang on your door demanding an explanation for why you didn't choose red. Now, imagine actually opening that door. That's essentially what Clara Dao has been doing for the past several months, and it's the only decision she's made that I actually have a problem with. Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. Clara got breast implants in March 2025. Then she launched an OnlyFans. The internet predictably lost its mind. Commentary channels lined up to eulogize her reputation. Former fans organized mass unfollows. People who once credited her with saving their self-esteem were now treating her like a personal betrayal. And in the middle of all of it, Clara did what she always does. She grabbed a camera, sat down, and apologized.
Having the boob job tomorrow. I had a boob job.
I'm always the biggest advocate for being authentic. I think after everything that happened, after being cancelled twice this year, I think after, having some more time, just taking everything in, I truly feel it in my heart. This time I want to make a video to apologize to all of you.
That's what this video is actually about. Clara Dao built her platform on a specific promise: love your body as it is. She spoke to a very particular group of women: petite, flat-chested, often Asian, often invisible in mainstream beauty conversations. She gave them a mirror when the rest of the internet refused to. That's genuinely meaningful work, and it would be dishonest to dismiss it, but here's the thing about mirrors. They reflect what's in front of them. The moment Clara changed, her audience didn't see a person exercising her freedom. They saw the mirror crack, and they blamed her for it. What her followers felt was real. The disappointment, the disillusionment, none of that is made up. But feeling something strongly doesn't make you right, and it certainly doesn't make you owed an explanation. And that's what Plato's allegory of the cave talks about. It describes prisoners chained in a cave, able to see only shadows projected on a wall, shadows they mistake for reality because it's the only world they've ever known. In influencer culture, the audience are the prisoners and the influencer is the wall. What followers consume is never the actual person. It's a carefully projected version, a shadow of a life curated for engagement. The tragedy Plato identified is the same one playing out in Clara Dao's comment section. When someone mistakes a shadow for truth, the moment that shadow shifts or disappears, they conclude that the wall betrayed them. Now, none of this video is a defense of the choices themselves. The timing of the OnlyFans launch, coming right on the heels of a brand built on something entirely different, does raise legitimate questions about motivation. Whatever she's doing is completely out of greed. If you have watched her videos, you notice she comes from a fairly well-off family and has a flourishing content creation career. You might have seen a tour of her parents' mansion in Vietnam.
So this is the gate to the house. I absolutely love these gates. And then this is what the house looks like from the outside. So this is the front yard. It is very, 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 very spacious. This is the first wing of the house. This is the traditional wing. If you look to the left, I have the second wing, which is where all the family lives.
Secondly, we shouldn't glorify this trend of influencers turning to OnlyFans for greed. It teaches young girls that it's right to sell your body to strangers. It's disgusting behavior that should be condemned. But then, why apologize if you're not changing? It's worthless. And it's at this point that I feel that she doesn't owe anyone an apology, unless she's ready to change for good. Society has opinions about cosmetic surgery. Society also has opinions about OnlyFans. Both institutions have been debated, dissected, and moralized about endlessly, and neither debate will be resolved here. What's worth saying is this: Clara didn't hurt anyone. She didn't defraud anyone. She made two personal decisions about her own body and her own income. Decisions that are, by any reasonable standard, entirely her business. The discomfort her audience feels belongs to them. It is theirs to sit with, process, or discard. It was never hers to fix. This is where most commentary videos stop, at the level of, was she wrong or wasn't she? But that framing misses the more interesting question entirely, because whether or not you agree with her choices, the apology is a separate issue, and the apology is where she's genuinely getting it wrong. When Clara sits down to apologize, she thinks she's doing the mature thing. What she's actually doing is handing her audience a deed to her life. Every apology she issues carries an embedded message. Your feelings about my choices are valid enough that I owe you a response. And once you send that message, you cannot unsend it. You've established a precedent. You've confirmed that her followers are not just an audience, they are a board of directors, and she reports to them. Watch what happens after each apology. The criticism doesn't stop. It escalates. Because apologies in this context don't function as closure. They function as confession, and confession invites judgment. Her audience hears the apology and thinks, she knows she did something wrong. Now, we're entitled to tell her exactly how wrong. The very act of trying to appease people who are upset with her personal choices teaches those people that being upset is an effective lever, so they keep pulling it. There's a word for what her followers did, and it's not loyalty, it's conflation. They conflated relating to someone with having a stake in who that person is. These are completely different things. When you watch Clara's videos and feel seen, that feeling is real, but it's also yours. It lives in you. It was never actually dependent on her remaining unchanged. The version of Clara that helped you was always a reflection of something you already carried. She just helped you find it. She was never responsible for maintaining it on your behalf. Nobody elected Clara Dao the official representative of flat-chested women. That title was projected onto her by an audience that needed a symbol, and she was convenient. She accepted the role, perhaps too willingly, for too long, but accepting a role is not the same as signing a lifetime contract. People change, bodies change, careers shift. The expectation that a real, living person should remain static because her audience found her relatable at a particular moment in time is not a standard we'd apply to anyone we actually respected. Here's what makes her situation structurally brutal. She built her brand on a very specific identity, and that specificity is precisely what made her successful. Niche creators grow faster because they speak to underserved audiences, but the trap is that the niche owns you. The more your audience grows around a single, fixed idea of who you are, the more any deviation from that idea reads as betrayal. It's not a Clara Dao problem, it's a creator economy problem. She just happens to be living through it publicly with millions of people watching. And still, even knowing all of this, the answer is not to apologize your way back into people's good graces, because it doesn't work. It has never worked. And every time she tries, she extends the controversy, refreshes the algorithm, and invites another round of people telling her what she should have done with her own body. The most radical thing Clara Dao could do right now, the thing that would actually serve her, is nothing. No video, no Q&A, no heartfelt caption, just silence followed by whatever she wants to make next. Not because she should be above accountability, but because she hasn't done anything that requires it. Accountability is for harm. She made choices. Those are different categories. The followers who left because she got surgery were never really following her. They were following an idea they needed her to embody. That's not a relationship, that's a projection. And you cannot and should not spend your life managing other people's projections. She built something real. She helped people. She changed. That's not a scandal. That's just being a person. The door was never meant to be opened in the first place. The neighbors needed to learn to mind their yards.